God damn you, Cosmo magazine. Oh my God, you made me have to have an argument with my wife today. What's going on, everybody? Jason Gaddy. And so this morning I was watching Jerry Ward's video and he's talking about Tess Holliday. And my wife was like, I agree with everything except for one thing. And so, you know, her thing is, you know, I don't know if you know this about my wife. She was 225 pounds and she lost over 100 pounds. And so she's very pro, like, not picking on overweight people. That's where she came from. Hell, she married a guy. We was just at the hospital yesterday, or not hospital, but I had a doctor's appointment yesterday. And they weighed me, and I weighed 355. Oh my God, I know. But I'll, you know, as soon as my carpal tunnel and shit quits messing with me, I'll start dropping weight again. I just can't get to the gym. But people are talking about how unhealthy this girl is. And to be honest with you, you don't really know that. Like, yesterday I went to, I went in, I weighed 355. They did my blood pressure, and my blood pressure was 135/78. And you can actually message my wife and find out if I'm lying to you. And my pulse was 61 beats a minute. So almost, no, I mean, my heart's not being overworked at all. Do I want to stay this way? No, my problem is I got carpal tunnel and I got gout and I got arthritis in my hips, so I can't do a lot of cardio. So, every time I live in itty bitty Kentucky, and every time I get signal, my phone lets me know by telling me all your voicemails that you don't want to listen to because they're just people trying to sell you insurance scams. Anyway, so this Tess Holliday girl, here is my argument with Tess Holliday, since everybody has talked about it, and it created a, not an argument, but a conversation at the Gaddy Mansion, okay? First of all, this girl knew that she was a bigger girl before she got, into her outfit, stood in front of a camera, had them take a bunch of glamour shots of her, okay? So she understood. Like, she's probably, I don't know her from Adam. Well, I guess I should say I don't know her from Eve. But she's probably a plus-size model and gets paid very well to do that. So while, you and everybody else is arguing about this girl on Cosmo, she is on the beach somewhere eating bonbons, sipping on a Mai Tai or a margarita, and not giving two shits or a fuck about your opinion. In fact, I will go as far as to say she or others like her will be on more covers of magazines this year because of all the talk, the conversation, which was Cosmopolitan's point. Stephanie made a very good point that, if they put a skinny girl on there, wouldn't nobody have said shit. Like, she could have been anorexic, like clinically anorexic. Nobody would have said two fucking words. And that was the point. That's my point. Like, that's why they put her on there, because everybody in the country is now talking about this girl who is large. And, my surprise is not one word of all the tattoos covering this girl. None. Like, that's how much things have changed in the past 20 years. Like, a girl covered with tattoos like that. And I have no problem with tattoos. I've got a very large one on my arm. My wife has several tattoos, piercings and shit like that. So tattoos and piercings don't really bother me at all. Kind of like them, especially on my woman. But the thing is this girl, she knows what she stepped into when she stepped into the in front of the camera. When she stepped in front of the camera. When she stepped in front of the camera, she knew what she was getting into. Cosmo knew what they was getting into, because now everybody's talking about it. Like, yeah, if they put a skinny girl on there, nobody would be saying shit. Kind of like we wasn't saying shit last month about Cosmo's cover, because nobody gives a crap. You know what I mean? So, being worried about your kids seeing a fat girl on, whatever, on a cover of a Cosmo magazine, then worry that your kids are going to aspire to be like that. Like, there's only one group of people, I think, that need to worry about that. Like, if you are a morbidly obese parent whose family has like a history of heart disease, cancer and stuff like that, and you see your young child growing up in the same footsteps to where they're becoming obese, and it looks like they're going to get all of your genetics. That's the only way I could see somebody being worried that they're going to be the kid's going to accept, you know, be like, well, that means we're accepted. And, you know, that would be like undermining the parent's effort. Now, with that being said, genetics are hard to overcome. You know, my mom has had a weight problem her whole life. I've got uncles that have had weight problems. I didn't evidently inherit all the heart issues. I had, you know, a cousin that had like 18 heart attacks by the time she was 42 and dropped dead on the 18th one. And she was actually bone skinny. So, you know, heart disease doesn't necessarily come from being overweight. I mean, it's just really bad genetics. Evidently, I didn't get that. But, you know, being worried that your kid's going to look at this girl and say, you know what, I'm skinny, but I think I'd rather be on the cover of Cosmo magazine. So I'm going to, you know, try to look like that would be like my wife is a huge Mustang fan. I mean, huge. And if I was to send her, you know, give her, you know, $120,000 and say, hey babe, listen, here's $120 cash. I want you to go to the Ford dealership and I want you to buy the biggest, baddest Ford Mustang that they got. And if they don't have one for $120,000, I want you to upgrade it until you spent every damn penny of that, right? Sending her on her way and then worried about her coming back with a used Corvette that somebody traded in on something else. I mean, it's just like, that's not what she's looking for. You know what I mean? A skinny person that works out, they're not, that the goal that this girl has isn't what they're looking for. Now, I will say this, if you're a skinny girl, you have a harder time getting on to the cover, excuse me, of Cosmo magazine, because almost every girl on the planet aspires to be skinny that models. You know what I mean? So the pool of girls you're fighting against is a lot higher than the bigger girls. But with that being said, the bigger girls only get on Cosmo like once every 10 years or some shit like that. So it's just, you know, it's not something you're going to have to worry about. I mean, depending on how you want to look at the numbers, chances of you being on a cover of a magazine, large, not large, tall, short, whatever, is so slim it doesn't even matter anyway. So just what I'm saying is, man, just shoot for being happy, because if you're not happy, then you're not happy, you know. And if you're happy being overweight, then be overweight. If you're happy being skinny, then be skinny. But don't worry so much about how much this girl's going to change the face of the nation because she's on there. You know, Ricky Lake was a big girl. And she was in Hairspray and the movie Hairspray. Of course, she had her own show, whatever. But did people aspire to be overweight like her? No, nobody was like, you know, I'm going for that Ricky Lake thing. So it's, you know, it's no big deal. Oprah, God, she's, you know, one of the richest people on the planet. She's got a weight problem and she tries to diet down, but most of the time she's heavier. And nobody is like, you know what, I'm just going to try to get my body looking like Oprah. Oh, this dick wipe just fucking blew coal all over the damn road. I guess, I don't know. I don't get those trucks that blow that black shit everywhere. All right, well, anyways, listen. Make sure you get out to the gym today and get you some. Man, get you some. Now, listen, if you want to be a larger person, then make sure you get out to the grocery store today and get you some. Get you some donuts. Get you some whatever, man. Look, you only get to go through this life once. And you need to be happy, you know, in your life. So if being overweight makes you happy, then be happy. If working your ass off makes you happy, then do that. All right, bye.
Freak show, turn it to a freak show. Freak show, turn it to a freak show. Freak show, turn it to a freak show.